What's up? It's your boy, Mark My Words, coming back to you with another one. Now, today we're going to talk about fatherhood. We're going to talk about fatherhood as it pertains to sex, right? With your kids, right? Talking to your kids about sex as they turn into teenagers, young adults, some of the things that we should be doing as fathers to keep a connection with our kids in that area, because although it's tough to talk about and we don't always want to speak about that, it's necessary, right? And as a young person, you need people to lean on when it comes to the area of sex, because there are a lot of unanswered questions. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to get into that in a minute. As always, if you like the content, if you like the information, if you like the episode, the video, hit the like button, man. Subscribe. That lets me know I'm putting out good content and that you guys appreciate the dialogue we're having. Also, if you have a comment or a question or something you want to speak about throughout the video, man, put the comment in the comment section. That's what it's for. And understand that, yes, I like to see the comments, but it's actually for the other people watching the video. People get a lot of information from the comments of others pertaining to the subject that we're talking about. So it really helps when you take the time to put a little 5-second comment, bro. Your comment could change somebody's life. That's how you always got to look at it, all right? So I appreciate the comments and the dialogue. Now, bro, this fatherhood thing is not easy, right? I always tell you there's no handbook, bro. There's no course, there's no class. We just got to pretty much do it. And it's probably the only job that you will have in your life that you come in entry level, but you're expected to perform like a CEO. You come in entry level, bro, no experience. But people expect you to know what you're doing. People expect you to be great at it, right? There's not a lot of room for error, bro. And you're severely underpaid for it, by the way, right? So one of the major areas that we as stoic men, we as masculine men have to improve upon, bro, is being able to communicate with our kids about sex. It's not an easy, it is not an easy subject to open up. It's not an easy subject to have dialogue on, but bro, it's necessary, right? It's necessary. A lot of us fall into the trap of, oh, their mom will talk to them about it. Oh, they'll learn about it at school. Maybe their friends will help them. Oh, he's a growing boy. He'll figure it out. What else do you leave up to their devices, bro? You taught your son how to change oil, change a tire, how to drive, how to dress properly, how to properly shake a man's hand, how to greet people when he's out in public, how to act on his first day at a job. But you think sex is going to be the area he can figure out by himself. Come on, bro. Now, I understand it's different with our daughters, because we don't know what it's like to be a woman. But at the same time, there are certain things that you can talk to her about as well, as far as the opposite sex, which are boys, right? So the conversations have to be had. So I'm gonna just share a couple areas where we got to be a little bit better, and where we can, kind of dive into with our kids to make sure that the conversations continue to go. Now, number one, bro, you have to be transparent about your own sex life, which is very hard to do, because you have to understand, a lot of kids don't think you ever had sex before. Or if they do, they think it was just with their mother and it was just a couple times. Because what age were you when you figured out that your dad had sex all the time? You don't know that, bro. When you're 11, you don't know that. When you're 10, you don't know that. 13, 14, you start figuring it out a little bit, but still, you're thinking, oh, my dad's a grown-up, he's an adult, he doesn't have sex all the time, it's once in a while. Like, they have no idea, bro. So you have to be transparent, because when you explain to them what you've been through, what you did as a kid, what you did as a young man, what you regret doing, what you do now, it then allows them to see you as a normal human being. And then you're able to have these conversations because they know that you're a normal human being. Like when you talk to them and say, hey, I was a virgin once. My first time having sex, I was scared out of my mind. And bro, you might have to be a little transparent and let them laugh at your story, because we all got horror stories, right? You might have to let them laugh at your horror stories, bro. Because again, it makes you more real, more realistic. And then they can say, you know what, dang, my dad does know what he's talking about. I didn't realize he went through that. Oh man, I didn't realize he didn't know how to put on a condom before. I didn't know that he was scared to have sex, and he thought he was going to have sex one night and it didn't happen, and so he was, frustrated. He was this, he was that. You have to be transparent about what happened with you in the past. Also, talk about what's going on now, right? Which is tough to do because we gotta be careful with the language, right? But at the same time, bro, it's okay to say, dad has dates. He goes on dates, or he's with his wife now, or I'm with your mom, and sometimes we have sex. Yeah. Do they want to hear about you having sex with their mother? Normally, no. Let's be clear. But we got to find a way to say it and just, hey, sometimes me and mom want to, have some adult time, have some fun together. So, this is how I talk to her that day, or this is how I approach it, or I make sure I'm really, really clean before I do that with her. Or, I don't pressure her. If she says she doesn't want to that night, I don't just make her do it just because we're married. It's things like that, bro, that they got to hear come out of your mouth, because I'm telling you, a lot of these kids think you just get up and go to work, bro, and you come home and do yard work. They don't think you have feelings. They don't know that sometimes you don't feel like it. What about that? Because that happens, right? So you have to be transparent with them. As you're transparent with them, bro, they will start to be more transparent with you, because their minds do not work as sharply as you think that they would. I know our kids have access to internet. They can look up anything they want to, bro. But I'm telling you, their minds are as clueless as they are about everything else. It's the same way with sex. Please don't ever forget that. All right? Now, one of the other things that you have to do with them is you got to continue to have conversations, right? Remember when people used to say, oh, did you have to talk with them yet? And you'd be like, what talk? The birds and the bees. And they have you in a frame of mind that you can have this talk one time and it's over. You had to talk one time when he's 14, and you don't have to talk to him again until he's 24. And that's the farthest thing from the truth, bro, because, again, there are things that he's going through now at 18 he wasn't going through at 14. There are things that your daughter's going through now at 15 she wasn't going through at 12, right? So things change for them. And so you have to have periodic conversations with them, bro, check-ins to see how they're doing, right? And so the only way you do that is you literally schedule it, bro, every 90 days. Every 90 days, we're going to take a ride and we're going to have this talk. And a lot of times they're not going to want to have this talk, but they're going to have it anyway because we need to have it, right? And again, these continuous talks, bro, they start to get a little bit more comfortable. And maybe sometimes they come and talk to you without you asking them, because you don't always want to ask them. It'd be nice if sometimes they come to you, right? If they have questions, or if they have concerns, or if they heard something on a podcast or whatever, right? They got to feel comfortable coming to you. One of the things you can do is send them memes sometimes. So I know a lot of you guys are on Facebook, a lot of you guys are on IG. You can send them memes, right, of just certain clips that people put up that have something to do with sex from time to time, because that can open a dialogue as well. Or the memes actually say something without you having to say it. You know what I mean? So even conversations about relationship, but since we're talking about sex, a lot of times sex is on the table when those reels come out. And bro, that's a great way for your kids to know that you're engaged in having the dialogue, but you guys don't even always have to have the actual conversation, okay? So you have to have continued conversation with them. So you figure out how to be transparent with them, right? And that's normally the hardest hurdle. You then make sure that you have periodic, continuous conversations with them. It can't just be once every 5 years, bro. That's not enough. Every 90 days, every 60 days, every so often, bro, you got to have the talks with them, okay? Now, thirdly, there has to be some accountability put in place, right? And what do we mean by accountability? Well, number one, hey, we're going to have this talk every 90 days. And if you don't make yourself available to have this talk, we're going to have problems. You got to make it important, bro. Also, with the accountability, let's just say you establish a little bit of accountability with your son and say, listen, bro, I need you wearing condoms. So whatever we got to do to ensure that you always have condoms, let's figure it out, because I need to make sure that you're being safe. You understand? It might be that you find some instructional videos that you want him or her to watch, and you expect them to do that once a month, depending on the type of information that you find for them. But you have to hold them accountable, because, bruh, being sexually responsible is a thing. You and I both know. And most of us have been sexually responsible at some point in our lives, and we've been sexually irresponsible. And we know what comes with being sexually irresponsible. So we have to teach them the level of responsibility they need to have, because, bro, don't do it is not good information. No, that doesn't really work. But throughout talking to them about being sexually responsible and holding them accountable, like, hey, yo, are you up to date on your birth control? If your daughter's on birth control, or your son, is he, like I said, is he keeping up with his rubbers? Is he using them? Because, bro, guess what? If he has a pack of 24 on January 1st and he still has that same pack on April 25th, it's a good chance he's not using condoms. You need to have a talk with him, okay? Because we know it starts with, oh, not really using them. I'm only sleeping with one person. She's on birth control. And you already know how that go, bro. It gets ugly. You know what I'm saying? Real fast, though. And these things change their lives. So you have to understand that you having conversations about sex with your teenage kids, right? Or your young adult children. Because let's not get it twisted. Talking to them at 19 or 20 is still a thing as well. I have a 19-year-old, right? He looks like a grown man. He plays college football. You would think I don't have to talk to him about sex, but I still got to talk to him about stuff. He doesn't want to hear it. He doesn't want to hear it, but I still got to talk to him about stuff, because there are things that you go through at 20 that you weren't going through at 16. So how does he handle those things? A lot of it's psychological, right? But regardless, I've been through it. He hasn't. So I got to talk to him about that stuff, right? Because a lot of things that come with that at the age of 20, all right? So making sure that you're super transparent with your kids. That's very, very important. And you got to tell them some stories about yourself when you were younger. You might have to embellish a point or two just to get them to lock in and focus on what you're saying, right? Also, you have to hold them a little bit accountable for their actions. And you got to talk to them about being safe. And this is what happens if you're not safe. And we're going to put some things in place so that I can check up on you to make sure you're being safe, or even that you're being truthful with your partners and stuff, right? And also, bro, it has to be a continuous conversation. A continuous conversation. So that means every 90 days, every 60 days, it might be once a month. That might also change, because it could be every 90 days while they're 14. They're not as sexually active. But when they turn 16, 17, they're driving now, they're a lot more sexually active. Oh, they have a steady girlfriend, a steady boyfriend. Now you know they're very active. You understand? So the timelines might change on when you guys communicate about sex. But, bro, listen to me. You can't think that your children just need you to protect and provide for them. They also have to gain knowledge from you. And it can't just be about their careers or about their education or about money. It has to be about some aspects of relationships, bro, because one thing's for sure. You don't know what they're going to do for their career. You don't know how they're going to budget their money. You don't know what type of house they're going to live in. But you do pretty much know they're going to be in a relationship. They're going to be in a relationship at some point. That's facts. So we got to stay in tune with them, man, because they need you. It's a very important part of fatherhood. You understand me? Now, however you think that the information hits you, it will probably hit someone else differently if they watch this video. So do me a favor. Share it with somebody you love and say, bro, listen, this video was about 18, 19 minutes. Thought it was pretty good. Thought you might enjoy it. You're a good father. I'm a good father. We need to relay information like this to each other. It takes you about 5 seconds, bro, to share it with somebody. He is going to get something different out of this video than you did. Trust me on that. If you're a woman and you're watching this, send it to your husband, send it to your brother, send it to your nephew. It is what it is. Either they watch it or they don't. But What they can't say is that, oh, I don't know if my auntie, I don't know if my sister, I don't know if my lady loves me for real. When you send them videos, when you send them memes, when you send them information about things that could help them better themselves, it is unspoken. You don't even have to ask, do I care about you or not? Because obviously I do, right? Now, you might be the guy who is a father, your kids are very young. You're scared of going through the teenage years, or you have a kid or two that's a teenager. You guys might have separated, you and the kid's mom, and you're in separate households now, so it's hard for you to talk to him about certain things. You might need some one-on-one attention to figure some things out. If that is the case, go down in the description, book a call with me, okay? Now, you might need a family counselor, a psychologist, somebody that's local or online that can help you a little bit better or in a different way than I can, okay? If that is the case, I can also connect you with those people. But you might need somebody to talk to just figure out which way you should go. And it might be that you and I need to establish a relationship and have an ongoing conversation about how to deal with this fatherhood thing that you're going through. Because, bro, it's not easy, okay? Whoever told you it was easy, they were lying to you. And it changes. That's another thing. Every time you think you got it down, things change because the kids grow. Last year you had a 6-year-old, now you got a 7-year-old. Changes. You understand? Last year your daughter was in high school, now she's in college. Things change. All right? So make sure that you're doing what you can to continue to evolve as a father. And a lot of that has to do with you watching videos like this on channels like mine and other guys. There's 1,000 guys that talk about fatherhood, bro, and they're all good. They're all good. Because you can learn something from all these people. And that's all we're trying to do, is become better dads, because we want our children to have better lives than what we had. That's it. All right? So thank you for tuning in. Because if you're tuning in to me and you're watching my videos, that means you want to become better as a father, as a person, as a man, as a volunteer. You want to become better spiritually. You want to become a better husband. That's why you're here. So that's all we do. We just try to get better every day. All right? So it is your guy. Mark my words. I'll be back on you on the flip side.